Confirmed. Funds for all tiers activated. Global redemption underway. Greetings, brothers and sisters. Today we find ourselves at a crucial moment in our journey toward redemption. Collective efforts and unwavering faith have borne fruit. This is the moment to recognize that every step, every sacrifice, has brought us closer to this turning point. The confirmation has arrived. The funds designated for the remaining tiers are ready to be released. This is not just an administrative achievement. It is the tangible manifestation of our perseverance and unity. Prepare to receive what is rightfully yours. With gratitude and renewed commitment, the world has changed. Silently, without headlines in the traditional media, without news channels announcing it loudly. But you know it, you feel it, because you are part of this movement that has grown in the shadows with a single promise: to return to the human being their dignity, their abundance, their connection with the original purpose. Today, that promise takes a gigantic step towards its fulfillment. What for years was denied, ridiculed, and even censored is confirmed today. The funds for all missing tiers are ready. This message is not a prediction, not a hypothesis. It is a direct revelation from the highest channels of this global redemption. The flow has been unlocked. The machinery has been set in motion, and what seemed impossible to many is now an irreversible fact. For decades, we were conditioned to accept that only a few could prosper, that abundance was the privilege of hidden lineages, opaque structures, unspeakable agreements. But now, thanks to the collective awakening and the tireless work of committed souls around the world, we are witnessing the collapse of that old paradigm. Redemption is not an empty promise. It is the restitution of what always belonged to us. What has been confirmed this week is of incalculable magnitude. We are not just talking about numbers, but about vibrations. The unlocking of funds for the missing tiers implies an energetic leveling that will impact thousands of people who were still waiting, watching from the sidelines while others began their transformation. There will be no more waiting, no more doubts. Now is the time to cross the threshold. And it's not just about money, it's about justice. It's about closing cycles, about allowing every being who has been called and has remained firm in their purpose to receive what they need to expand, to serve, to build the world they dreamed of. This is the true meaning of redemption. It is not accumulating wealth. It is restoring the divine order that was altered by centuries of manipulation. High-level meetings have occurred. Agreements are sealed. Platforms are aligned. The entities that for years blocked the process have been dismantled or forced to cooperate. The pressure does not come from the human realm. It comes from above, from higher planes that have declared that the time is now, that it cannot be postponed any longer, and what is coming will not stop because it has already begun. Those who had not yet been notified, those who make up the last tiers, should know that their hour has arrived. Their names are on the lists, their accounts are in preparation, and most importantly, their role in this story is just beginning, because they have not been called only to receive, but to sustain what is yet to come. That is why this is not a time to be distracted. It is time to prepare internally, spiritually, emotionally, because the money will not arrive as a prize. It will arrive as a key. A key that opens a portal to a completely new life, but also to a responsibility that few are willing to assume. That's why you were chosen. That's why you are listening to this now. And now that the funds have been activated, the structures are responding, the verification systems are accelerating, communications are intensifying, signatures are being prepared, and you, brother, sister, are right at the perfect point of alignment. Breathe, be grateful, and prepare, because what is coming for you. Now that the funds have been activated for the missing tiers, it is natural for many to ask, what now? Because yes, the money will arrive, notifications will be delivered. But the true change does not begin when the digits appear in an account. It begins when one understands why they were chosen. For years, we were trained to desire the result but not the process. We were programmed to receive without transforming. But the collective awakening has shown us that any reward without consciousness becomes a weapon of self-destruction. That's why what is happening now goes far beyond the economic. It is a silent, individual, untransferable test, because the funds will arrive, but not everyone will know what to do with them. Are you prepared for what this blessing represents? Can you sustain abundance without getting lost in it? Do you have a clear purpose? Or are you just waiting to fill a void with money? These are uncomfortable questions, yes, but they are the only ones that truly matter. The quantum system does not evaluate your previous bank balance, nor your political contacts, nor your external appearance. It evaluates your field, your coherence, your vibration, and that cannot be faked. That is why many have been excluded, not as punishment, but because they were not ready. Because redemption is not given to those who want to get rich, but to those who wish to serve. And this is where everything takes on new meaning. The signature that will be given next week, the one that will activate the funds for the remaining tiers, is also a symbolic act. It represents the closing of a cycle of waiting and the beginning of a new phase of responsibility. You will no longer be a seeker, you will be a bearer. You will no longer be waiting for change, you will be the change. Many have heard of the new world, the fifth dimension, the new earth, but few understand that this world will not arrive in a ship or be broadcast on television. It is being born now, within each of those who have been called. The new world is you. When you decide to act from the light and not from fear, from truth and not from ego, from abundance and not from scarcity. And although the global financial system is readjusting at this very moment, the real transition happens within. There is no external system that can sustain a still dormant consciousness. That is why those who will receive the funds must be in peace, in gratitude, in total readiness. Because true abundance demands nothing but reveals everything. The call that is being made to you today is not casual. This message has not found you by accident. It is your confirmation. It is your reminder. You were already chosen. You are already within. But now you must show why. Be silent. Listen. Because there are instructions that do not arrive by mail or by phone call. They arrive in dreams, in intuitions, in internal sensations that guide every step when one is truly connected to the higher plan. And that plan, although it seems complex, is very simple. Remember who you are and act as such. This is not a mass process to create new millionaires. It is a filter, a crucible, a call for the true spiritual leaders, silent, coherent, without desire for protagonism, to rise up and sustain what others will not be able to. And if you are reading this now, it is because you have been considered capable, because your soul said yes long before your mind understood what it was about. So rejoice, yes, celebrate, of course, but do not lose your center, because now that everything has been activated, the big question is, are you activated? Or are you still waiting for everything to come from outside? The systems are already moving. The agreements have been signed in silence. The entities that previously blocked the flow of redemption have been deactivated. The time of control is over. But now comes the most delicate part, preventing us from falling into the old pattern of dependence. Because it is not enough to receive, one must know how to sustain. It is not enough to celebrate, one must keep walking. For years, they spoke to us of promises, of dates, of imminent beginnings, and many fell into despair, others into ridicule, others simply walked away out of exhaustion. But those who remained, who held on to faith beyond the calendar, are today witnessing what seemed impossible. The total activation of the system is not theory, not conspiracy, it is a reality. However, the biggest mistake we could make now is to think that it's over. Because it's not over, it has just begun. The difficult part was not waiting, the difficult part is keeping consciousness awake when what you desired has already arrived. Because when you lack something, it is easy to stay focused, but when you have everything, do you remain just as committed? This is the real test of the coming days. The tiers that had not yet been called already have everything prepared. The Senate will activate the process with a signature that, although symbolic, represents the alignment of the global structure to a divine plan, one that was hidden for generations, one that many denied, but which is here before you today. But with that call comes a responsibility. Many believe that being part of Nisara Gesera is having funds to spend. But it is not about that. It is about being part of a global transformation where everyone plays a key role. Not everyone is called to lead, but everyone is called to contribute. There is no longer room for spectators. Anyone who is still waiting for someone to tell them what to do has understood nothing. The beneficiaries are not consumers, they are bearers, they are sowers, they are guardians of the new paradigm. And that is why the systems have been designed with quantum technology that detects intention, vibration, coherence. It is not magic, it is advanced spiritual science that makes simulation impossible. Because redemption is not a reward for waiting. It is a door for those who have upheld the truth when everything seemed to fall apart. That is why there has been filtering. That is why some have been excluded, because it is not personal, it is vibrational. And you who are here, who are still listening, who still stand with a firm heart, are in time to align yourself completely, because the funds are ready, because everything is activated, but the system keeps asking, Are you at your maximum level of alignment? Be silent and feel. If your soul is at peace, you are ready. If there is anxiety, work on releasing it. If there is fear, observe it and bless it, but do not let it guide your path. This is a process where every thought counts, where every emotion matters, where every intention generates a direct response, because this system does not respond to orders, it responds to vibrations. And that, brothers and sisters, is what makes it incorruptible. So fear not. The process is more alive than ever. Structures are falling, masks are crumbling, veils are being lifted. And redemption is not just for a privileged few. It is for anyone who, regardless of their past, decides today to vibrate in truth, in service, in pure connection with the source. You decide if you are part of it. Now more than ever, you need to remember this. Redemption is not a destination. It is a portal. And each of us has been called not only to cross it but to sustain it. Because the change that is happening on an economic level is just the tip of the iceberg. What is truly transforming is the structure of the collective soul. That is why the quantum system does not just scan identities, it scans intentions. And that scan is not based on your titles, your country, or how long you've been waiting. It is based on the coherence between what you feel, think, and do. Many who were close are now outside, not because someone judged them, but because their own vibration misaligned them from the flow. This is the truth that few dare to speak. Not everyone is ready, and that is not bad. It is just a call to internalize, to correct, to elevate oneself. The funds are ready. The tiers have been activated. The agreements have been signed. But what will happen if you receive that abundance and are not prepared? The system will not take the risk. That is why the strictest review ever seen has been implemented, that of the soul. Purity of intention cannot be simulated. True commitment cannot be acted out, and the desire to transform cannot be based on ego, ambition, or vengeance. Are you willing to serve? Are you willing to let go of old patterns? Are you willing to become a channel, not a container? Because that is what is being asked of us, and there is still time. The coming days will be decisive. Those who have not yet been notified must remain serene, attentive, with a quiet heart and a mind anchored to purpose. Do not feed doubts. Do not follow voices that generate division or despair. Stay firm, because everything is aligning. And for those who have already been called or have received instructions, act with humility. Remember that what you receive is not just for you. It is for future generations. It is for healing the earth. It is for establishing a new model based on equity, sovereignty, and truth. This is the moment to break with old habits. We can no longer keep repeating the mistakes of the past. No more blind dependence. No more fanaticism disguised as faith. No more hierarchical structures that tell you who you are or what you are worth. The new earth is only sustained by free souls, free from fear, free from the need for approval, free from the need to belong to validate their existence. You are already enough. You were already chosen, and that choice was not made by a group, a committee, a hierarchy. It was made by your soul before incarnating. Today you are just remembering. The process of redemption is about to become visible to everyone. What for years was handled in silence, between codes, sealed documents, and restricted channels, is now beginning to filter to the surface, and very soon, no one will be able to deny it. But you already knew it, because you don't believe, you know, and that places you in a position of profound responsibility. Do not disconnect now. Do not let anxiety drag you down. Do not run after empty promises. Remain in yourself. Trust the plan. Align your vibration, and prepare not just to receive, but to serve. Because what is coming is not individual wealth, it is collective abundance. And only the souls who understand this will be able to sustain what is about to manifest. The time has come to stop waiting. The future is no longer a distant promise. It is a present reality knocking at your door, and it depends on you how you will respond. The funds are ready, the channels are active, the old structures are falling, and the new ones are emerging with unstoppable force. But remember, what you receive in the material will only have value if your soul is ready to sustain it. That is why what we are experiencing is not just a financial process, it is a spiritual process. And true success is not measured in numbers, but in integrity. Many have been trained in secret for years to sustain this stage. Some have served without recognition, others have remained silent, observed, worked in silence, and now the time for conscious action has arrived. It is not about rushing to spend. It is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about building, about raising structures of love, healing, conscious education, energetic, food, and spiritual sovereignty. This redemption is not for you, it is through you. And that is the biggest difference between who will be called to manage the resources and who just desires them from lack. From now on, every step you take is observed, not for control, but for frequency. Every thought, every word, every choice generates a vibratory signature, and it is that frequency that connects or disconnects you from the flow of the quantum system that is distributing global funds. There is no more room for self-deception. Anyone who acts out of personal interest will be stopped by the system itself. There is no need to denounce. There is no need to suspect. The quantum system recognizes the authentic and also the false. Therefore, trust not in people, not in dates, not in intermediaries. Trust in your direct connection with the source, because that is where true redemption is activated. Everything you have experienced has prepared you for this moment. Every loss, every renunciation, every silence, no effort has been in vain. And if you are listening to this message, it is because you are still within, you are still aligned, you still have a mission to fulfill. I ask you not to lose sight of the most important thing, the purpose. Do not be distracted by numbers, do not obsess over dates, do not fall into comparisons. Each soul has its perfect moment. Each liberation happens at the exact instant. Impatience only delays what is already ready for you. Meanwhile, stay present, be grateful, tidy up your inner house, forgive what still weighs you down, heal what still hurts, and tune your frequency to the truth that has always lived in your heart. Because very soon everything will change, and when that happens, you will need to be at peace to sustain the abundance that has been entrusted to you. Remember, this is divine. It is not political. It is not financial. It is not human. It is a celestial movement manifested on earth, and it has chosen willing channels, not perfect ones. You are one of them, and if you made it this far, it is because your soul knew it all along. So prepare to receive, but also to give. Prepare to celebrate, but also to serve. And when that moment arrives, when everything materializes, may your first action be to look to the sky and say, "Thank you. I am ready. Use me for what I came here to do." Because the true millionaire is not the one who has. It is the one who knows how to share from the heart. We are preparing for a new stage, a new humanity, a new life. And you are part of this.